So a new poll came out today of college students. All right, and they asked the college students, who y'all gonna be supporting in the 2020 election? I hesitate to even call it an election. It's just a situation. It's a fiasco. Nobody's messing with this. I'm like, okay, anyway. Side point. All right, they asked the college students, who y'all gonna be supporting? All right, and this is interesting. Over 1 in 5 college students said they're either not gonna vote or they're gonna vote third party. 1 in 5, 22%. Now, I'm not even making this video to bag on Trump. I'm not making this video to bag on Biden. I'm not making this video to bag on the Democratic establishment like I love to do. I'm not making this video to bag on anybody in particular. I'm making this video to bag on America. America's to blame for that. You know, a lot of times young people get some blame from older generations, talking about why we're so apathetic, why we don't seem to care, why we have no legitimate interest, why a lot of us seem kind of lost and confused and, you know, not really politically active or socially active or just anything. We just like to surf on our phones and just listen to our little emo rap music and, you know, smoke our weed and snort our coke and do our drugs, and that's that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the common criticism. Is there a grain of truth to that? Hell yeah. But is it our fault? No. It's not our fault. Stop blaming our ineptitude on the people who created us, on the people who raised us, on the society that raised us. Stop blaming that on us. It's not our fault that we're stuck in this situation. And now we're going to have to go to college with the highest cost of higher education that there's ever been, in an unforgiving economy, go into a job market where over half of the nation's living paycheck to paycheck, pay for our future families' health care in a situation where 500,000 people go bankrupt because of trying to save their lives and get the care that they need. This is the America that we're going to be growing up in, not to mention the fact that we're still burning fossil fuels at incredibly high levels, the fact that we're still fracking and destroying the planet, the fact that the planet is dying before our very eyes, and the most powerful country in the world is doing literally nothing about it. But okay, don't blame us for feeling a little down. We want to go smoke some weed so we can forget about the fact that the world is ending and that our generation is now going to have to face all the problems that y'all helped create. So yeah, America's failed its kids. America has failed its kids. And it can't stop. It can't seem to stop failing its kids, and it really blows my mind. Because you would think that the elevated rates of depression and anxiety and mental health crises and, you know, the elevated risk of suicide and all of those risk factors and all the drug use and all the emo rap, even listen to the music that we're listening to, you might get some clues that maybe we should change our behavior. Maybe we should start giving these kids a better foundation for their lives. But no, nobody got the message. Nobody got the message when people started going into school with some of our own fellow students and shooting each other up. No one even got that message. So now we're at the point where it's okay, what else do we do? Am I just supposed to watch the world burn before my very eyes? Because, you know, for me, you know, I have this platform with YouTube and it's very empowering. It makes me feel like I'm doing something. But in the back of my mind, I know there's only a limited amount of things I can really do. You know? There's only a limited amount of things that my peers can really do. Even when we scream at the top of our lungs, we get millions of us out in the streets and say, hey, can you please make sure that the guns can get out of the hands of crazy people? Or hey, can you please do something to save the planet and stop burning fossil fuels? Hey, can you make sure we have a future and we don't die? And instead, we get silence, we get crickets. Even from the people who said they were going to be in our corner, the Democratic Party. But especially from the Republican Party, especially from damn near every politician in Washington, we get silence, we get crickets. And it's a really just confounding situation. Because now you're like, no matter what I do, no matter what I say, no matter what anybody in my generation says, nobody seems to care. They can't stop failing us. Even when we scream at the top of our lungs, please stop failing us. So, you know, you get apathetic. You stop caring. I know a lot of kids who are like, look, there's nothing I can do. Why should I care? Nah, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna smoke my weed and I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna pop my pills and I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna drink till I'm drunk and I'm gonna live my life. Can you blame them? I don't blame them. When when this generation is gonna be worse off than their parents' generation for the first time in American history, can you blame us for feeling a little bit down? Can you blame us for just wanting to smoke it off? I certainly don't blame us. Y'all should never blame us again because you failed us. America has failed us. And yeah, I'm gonna wag my finger and I'm gonna tell you that you're wrong. And you can sit there and feel offended all you want. Doesn't change the fact that you failed us. You failed all your children. You failed the future generations. And you should feel ashamed of yourselves. And once you get done moping and being guilty, maybe you should get up and stop voting for people like Joe Biden. Maybe you should get up and stop voting for people like Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton and Mitch McConnell and Mitt Romney and even Barack goddamn Black Hope Obama. None of them have done anything consequential to help save our generation. In fact, all of them have done everything possible to ruin my generation and our future. When it comes to continued inaction on climate change, when it comes to having a mafia middleman healthcare system, when it comes to the rising cost of college and watching it ascend before their eyes and doing literally nothing about it, when it comes to throwing millions of black and brown people in prison, tearing apart families, ripping apart families at the border, ripping apart families in the jail cells, ripping apart families when it comes to not being able to keep a roof over your head. Doesn't that cause some problems? Isn't that hard for a kid to grow up in? But oh, it's okay. Because people are going to keep falling for the BS. It's okay. If they throw some nice words in there and they give you a little bone here and there when it comes to Obamacare or when it comes to freeing nonviolent drug offenders, it's whatever. You'll keep on voting for them. You'll keep on voting for the empty promises, for the corporate half measures, for the corruption. And you'll keep ensuring a rigged system, a corrupt system where huge corporations buy influence and rig the system against especially my generation. And now we're set up for failure because that system's continue to stay in place. But it's okay. As long as they promise you crap and do nothing, you're going to keep on voting for them. And we'll be right back here in 30 years. But it would be worse by then. By then, cities will start to be swallowed by rising seas. You'll have super droughts. You'll have widespread famine and environmental destruction across the planet. You'll have entire extinctions of trillions of species. But it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, forgive me if I'm sounding a little bit, I don't know, sad. It is a sad situation. But every day I get up and I use the only power that I have left, and that's my voice. That's my resolve to not accept this situation, to use everything in my power to do something to fix this situation, to do something to save my generation, to save this country. That's my job. Every day I get up and I try to do something about it. And I try to wake fellow members of my generation up to the reality that maybe we should care. The world's falling apart before our very eyes and it's going to be tumbling down on us. Maybe we should care. Maybe we should try to unite and scream until all of us are screaming and something happens. Something happens. That's my goal. That's my job. That's why I make these videos. That's why I write. That's why I go so hard in school. That's why I care. But it would help a lot if y'all started caring too. Older generations, the rest of America, if y'all started caring too. Because you failed us, and now we got to pick up the pieces. It's not like it has to be this way. If we unite our voting interests, if we wake up, if we get out in the streets and have our voices heard, get out to the ballot box and have our voices heard for progressive change, I see no reason why you can't stop failing us and pick up those pieces. Put this shit back together. I see no reason why that can't happen. But there's so many people that have to be awoken. So I'm going to start right here with the people who are going to watch this video. And hopefully, y'all can keep on spreading from there. So with that, dog, wake up. Smell the roses. It smells like corruption. It smells like a rigged system. But it smells like promise for a better future if we all get together Get our act together. Wake up and act.
With the boys, yeah, we making all this noise. Can't complain, riding in the fast lane. To the top, we don't stop up till past 5 o'clock. Smoking trees.